Hello everybody, myself Jyoti Mayekar, and today we are going to study the Viva questions related to energy band gap of a semiconductor using a junction diode. Now the first question which can be basically asked about this experiment is what is energy band gap? So in simple words, basically it is the measure of the energy gap between the top of valence band and bottom of the conduction band. So we know that when we consider a semiconductor, whether it is of dope type or intrinsic, that is pure type, it always possesses an energy gap between its valence and conduction band. And whenever we want conduction of electricity, then a certain amount of energy is to be given to the electron which is present in the valence band to go from valence band to conduction band. So that is what about energy band gap is. Now, suppose I want to differentiate between a conductor, an insulator, and a semiconductor with respect to band gap. How can I differentiate? So, in conductors, the valence and conduction bands they overlap each other. In case of insulators, there is a large energy gap between valence and conduction bands. When you consider semiconductors, this energy gap is not too large, so that at room temperature, the thermal energy gained by some of the electrons in valence band is sufficient to make them jump to conduction band, crossing the this energy gap. Okay, now what are the typical values of this energy gap for semiconductors or insulators? So when you take the example of insulator, the energy band gap, it is large means how much? It is of the order of 3 to 7 electron volt. For semiconductors it is quite small. So if I take the germanium material, then the energy band gap value, it is 0.72 electron volt, and if I take the example of silicon, then it is 1.1 electron volt. Now we know that the conductivity increases with temperature in case of semiconductor. Why does this happen? So in semiconductors at low temperatures there are few charge carriers to move, so conductivity is quite low. However, when we increase the temperature, more number of charge carriers get sufficient energy to be excited to the conduction band. So when we provide energy, they will jump from valence band to conduction band. So more charge carriers are made available, and this lead to increase in the number of free charge carriers, and hence the increase in the conductivity with rise in temperature. What is intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor? Intrinsic is pure. So what is intrinsic and extrinsic? A pure or natural semiconductor which is free of impurities is called an intrinsic semiconductor. Example is silicon, germanium, but it has low electrical conductivity. So when we add some pentavalent impurity like arsenic or trivalent impurity like boron, then it is called as an extrinsic semiconductor. Why a semiconductor behaves as an insulator at 0 degree Kelvin? So when we know that at 0 degree Kelvin, electrons in valence band do not have sufficient energy to cross the energy band gap, because when we say that the temperature is low, we know that the thermal energy it is given by the formula E is equals to kT. So temperature ही कम है, तो naturally the thermal energy which will be there, that will also be very low. So the thermal energy which is available at that particular temperature, it is not sufficient for an electron to go from valence band to conduction band. And we know that if the electron it is in the conduction band, then only the conduction is possible. So thus here semiconductor behaves as an insulator, as no electrons are available in the conduction band to conduct the electricity. What is the effect of temperature on the energy gap of a semiconductor? So as temperature increases, energy gap decreases. What are the factors on which energy gap of a semiconductor depends? So one factor already we know that it depends upon the temperature, and second it is material, because we know that energy band gap value it is different for silicon, it is different for germanium, so it depends upon material as well. Whether the diode is connected in forward bias mode or reverse bias mode in this particular experiment. So yes, it is connected in reverse bias mode. Now the question can also be asked like what is forward bias and what is reverse bias mode. So when we apply the external voltage across the semiconductor diode in such a way that P terminal of diode is connected to positive terminal of battery, that is forward bias, and if we connect the P terminal of diode to negative terminal of the battery, then it is called as reverse bias. Here, what is reverse saturation current? Now, the reverse saturation current is the part of reverse current in semiconductor diode. Here we connect the diode in reverse bias mode, and we are checking the reverse saturation current with temperature at different temperatures. So this reverse saturation current, it is because of the diffusion of minority charge carriers. That is what reverse saturation current is. Now here, if you remember the experiment, you know that this reverse saturation current, it shows the constant value for a particular temperature. So why the value of reverse saturation current is constant at a particular temperature? Now we know that this reverse saturation current, it is because of the minority carriers, and this number of minority carriers, it is fixed at a given temperature. As the number of minority charge carriers, it is fixed, naturally the reverse saturation current, it will also be a constant. Now how this reverse saturation current depends on temperature? So you can just remember the equation as well, or if you want to say theoretically, reverse saturation current of a diode increases with increase in temperature, and the rise is 7% rise in current per degree Celsius for both germanium and silicon, or approximately you can remember that it doubles for every 10 degrees Celsius rise in temperature. What is breakdown voltage? Now, when a PN junction is reverse biased, it allows very small current to flow through it. This current is due to the movement of minority charge carriers, and it is almost independent of the voltage applied. And if we make the reverse bias too high, the current through PN junction increases abruptly, and voltage at which this phenomenon occurs is called as breakdown voltage. But in this particular experiment, we are not going beyond breakdown voltage. Generally, when we use Zener diode, then we go beyond breakdown voltage. But in case of silicon diode, germanium diode, after the breakdown voltage, the diode is going to get damaged. So we are working below the breakdown voltage. So these are some kind of Viva questions which can be asked. Thank you.